What is going on, guys? DBG here, and today is New Year's Eve, lads. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be counting down the 10 best cards of 2022. So, this is going to be for the entire year. So, it is going to be cards released from January the 1st of this year until December the 31st. We have cards from March of this year, and we've literally got a card that came out on the 30th of December. There is a huge variance of cards here, and in my opinion, these guys were the best cards to come out in the year of 2022. I have definitely forgot somebody, and I've actually put two of the same individual player on this list because I feel like it's hard not to put both players because they're simultaneously so different and basically summed up an entire game mode. So, yeah. Anyway, the first player at number 10, we have to put Richard Jefferson. Maybe the best reward card we have ever gotten. Jason Tatum was an honorable mention. That guy, well and truly, was an honorable mention. There were a lot of real honorable mentions from NBA 2K23. I wanted to keep it 5 and 5. So, guys, you are not going to see here Kazi Russell, no Cedric Maxwell. You're not going to see a like Opal David Robinson. Obviously, there's not going to be any Bobos because Bobo sucked last year. But there are a lot of guys that you would kind of expect to see here, but they're not going to be here. But I went with Richard Jefferson because he was the first guy that just came out, and everyone was like, "Oh crap, this guy has no flaws, has perfect dribble sigs." He was like one of the first players in the game to get Francis size, which ended up giving to almost to half the cards in the game at one stage. Normal leaner, best behind the back in the game, one of the best jump shots in the game, one of the best uppers in the game, great on defense, and just did not have a flaw as a card. Brilliant player. At number 9, we're going to go this year's Dr. J. The reason why he's at number 9 is, again, he is a long grind. But there were people getting this card in November. There were people getting him in November. Perfect speed. Like, you're looking at the stats, and, like, outside of rebounding, passing accuracy, and free throw, they're similar to Richard Jefferson. 20 Hoff badges on a card you were getting in November was nuts. John Wall, Rudy Gay, one of the best releases in the game. Jordan dribble style, Kobe escape. The pro leaner is pretty okay. 6'6", big player build. Can hold range, can hold every badge in the game. Can hold anchor. This guy might, you could, if you want to argue this is the best shooting guard in my team, go for it. And there's a reason why I think he is that little bit better than a Ricky Davis. Ricky Davis has not made this list. And again, if we're talking about cards that I would say are honorable mentions from this year, it's probably Ricky Davis, maybe Kristaps, and AD. That's probably what I would say is my like honorable mentions from this year, but he's in here at number 9. At number 8, we got Luol Deng. Luol Deng, my God, lads, a 6'9" shooting guard with a player build that makes him look 7 foot. One of the best releases in the game on quick, a really good upper, Jordan dribble style, the freaking elite defensive stance. He's got Mitchell Sizer, which is one of the best in the game. If he had the normal leaner and the Dame behind the back, which is the best in this game, if he had the normal leaner, I would literally say this guy is, without question, the best player this year. I would still have him. I still have him up there. I think for me, he probably is the best. There are some cards that are worse than him that I have put ahead of him for 2K23 purely because they were in the game early. But no, Luol Deng's incredible. And one of the, or not one of those guys, but then we get Taco Fall Endgame, the just definitive best player from NBA 2K22. Actually, no, sorry. The best player current gen on 2K22. There were two guys that really in 2K22 could be considered the best player in the game. Taco Fall won them, and I'm going to go with a different guy as the best piece. I played next gen. But obviously, endgame cards, every Hall of Fame badge, every stat 99, quick dribble style, D-Rose size up, Trey escape, set shot 25, Trey leaner. He was just God. No other way to describe it. He was the best. He simply put was the best when it came to totality between two gens. He was the best. Although there was a literal glitch on next gen, which was Luka Doncic. The reason why this version of Luka is at number 6, despite being the best player in the game by a mile. Like, endgame Luka was going for like 20k. This Luka was going for 200k. It was mad. But perfect stats. Again, he's invincible. 99 every stat. The badge, there was no badges that he was missing that mattered. He also had Luca, which was so much better than any of the other releases. Like Luca, you would literally just shoot heavies in people's faces. And they also gave him Scotty behind the back tray escape tray fade, which was I'm pretty sure, did they give normal fade to this card? No, he had the tray fade, but he had set shot 25 and he couldn't play point guard. He was a point guard Luca with Luca release, which was better than any of the set shots. Better than set shot 25, better than base 3. As well as that, they gave him the tray fade, which made him way better than the other Invincible Luca. There was two Invincible Lucas. This one here had, he still had quick, but he had the normal leaner, which again was brilliant, don't get me wrong, but he had the Luca escape and the normal leaner. This one a tray escape, tray fade, in a game where that was extremely important. This was the, in my opinion, the best player on next gen. And I think you would even argue that this Mystic was equally as good. And he was like 5 KMT. But the only reason why he is down here at 6 is that he came out on the 29th of July. Then we have Russell Westbrook. Day one. A day one card that was literally unguardable. He just ran through people and he dunked on them. There was nothing you could do. Is he the greatest point guard in the game now? No. Is he still a more than usable point guard? Sure. You genuinely just ran to the basket and dunked. There has not been a more overpowered day one card in my team since Zach LaVine of NBA 2K15. Him and Derrick Rose, Westbrook ended up being the better one. A lot of people thought Rose was better because he had a nicer release and kind of, before people realized how to use bully and getting to the basket with Westbrook effectively, people thought Rose was better. But player build wise, everything else wise, Westbrook just ended up being a better card. But he still is not my number one trophy case card from NBA 2K23. It's Worthy. Worthy on day one, again, not only was he as unstoppable as Westbrook with his Hall of Fame bully, he ran through people. He was a lights out shooter, could defend anybody. The thing with James Worthy is you can still make the argument that he is a top 5 power forward in this game. It is the 31st of December. This guy was there. In terms of longevity, up there with freaking 2K19 AK in terms of longevity. We have not seen a day one card be not only usable, but used in a competitive setting in January since pre 2K20. And we've got this card right here. Unbelievable. And then we have got my main man, Tim Thomas. Tim Thomas, the best player this year. Him or Luol Deng. The difference is that he came out at the very start of November. He came out for 2 extra months in Luol Deng, and the fact that he is either the best or at worst number 2 card in the game. Steve Francis size up, good escape, good shot, unbelievable shot, normal leaner, perfect stats, 6'10", small forward. He is as perfect a card as he can be. He would have been the best card in my team up until like February if it was last year and he came out in November. This card was way too good, way too soon. But he's still not top 2. And if you guys played 2K22, you guys know what my top 2 is. Number 2 is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Perfect stats wise, perfect badges wise. On current gen was the best, like one of the best players we'd ever seen. So, Kyrie size was good, quick dribble style. Jordan release on very quick. Jordan free throw, normal leaner. Scotty behind the back, tray escape when nobody other than he was the first player not named Trae Young to have a tray escape. The guys that knew how to use him, the pro and point guards, he was their guy. He was the best shot creator in the game. He was the most fun card in the game. And this guy, in a lot of scenarios, was the best player in the game. He was a point guard. He came on the 25th of March. He was usable on the very last day of the game. Was unbelievable. But the best card of 2022, it has to go to a card that defined an entire game. Power within Luka. A card art which looked more like me than it looked like Luka Doncic, but still. Power within Luka, 95 speed, 95 acceleration, 95 3 ball, great defense. None of that mattered. He didn't even have quick dribble style. He had a bad dribble style, bad dribble sigs. Luka Liam was the same as normal, so it didn't really matter. He couldn't even dribble, but it didn't matter. You literally you walked up the floor, and if the other player was off-balling you, you would just snatch back and shoot it heavy. Unless the player physically pressed triangle, you were scoring like 95% of the time if you knew his release. The most broken card in the history of my team. And as great as Jordan was, Jordan could create, Jordan could do this, that. If you picked up the game for the first time and learned Luka's jump shot for 3 minutes in shoot around, you became almost unguardable. Yeah, sure, later on in the year, people figured out how to guard Luka. But we have never seen a card that literally just greened heavies in people's faces like Luka Doncic. If people had a sideline play, the go-to was you stand with Luka in the corner, catch the ball, and no matter where your defender is on you, you shoot and you green. You could green through, literally, there would be hands going through your face, and you would green through it with Luka. The most broken card ever. So yeah, I've got Jefferson, I got Dr. J, I got Luol, I got Taco, I got Doncic, Westbrook, Worthy, Tim Thomas, Michael Jordan, and Luka Doncic again. Obviously, every player is how good they were compared to their contemporaries, hence why Westbrook is in there. And because we're talking about early game this year and late game last year. Cards that are honorable mentions, I think Tatum is a real honorable mention from last year. I think Kazi, I think Seti Maxwell are definitely guys that should have been in, or were in consideration, and we're kind of near the end. And I also think this year Ricky Davis was probably a bit unlucky to miss out. So anyway, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.